Hi guys, welcome back to Steins Gates. We are trying to get Ferris. Well, we figured out what Ferris's email was. Now we have to reverse it. So if you weren't here last episode, make sure you go back and watch. I want to say it was episode 31, maybe. You should go back. You should go back and watch that, cause yeah. Stuff and things happened. So, it's gonna get right into the next episode. Here we go. It's well past midnight and I'm still awake. My body hurts too much to sleep, and then there's the question eating at my mind. What should I do? How can I cancel the email that saved Ferris's father? My encounter with the man himself has given birth to unnecessary internal conflict. I'm about to steal Ferris's father away from her. I need to do it to save my Yuri. But does that give me the right to play God? I mean, no, but it's what you have to do, so. I hear a knock, and then the door opens. Kioma? Oh, Ferris. Still awake? May I come in? Normally, Ferris would have added "nya" at the end of that question. Without waiting for my answer, Ferris steps inside. Then she sits next to me on the bed. She's not wearing her cat ears. Thanks for earlier. When the viral gang started chasing me, I was really scared. Does she have a fever or something? Why is she talking normally? She usually pretends to be a cat girl. Does this mean she's not using her Ferris persona right now? Is this the real Akiha Rumio? It's actually refreshing to hear Ferris talk normally like this. It excites me for some reason, like she's showing me a side of herself that no one has ever seen. Okabe, keep it in your fucking pants, man. That was the first time I felt such a black emotion from a huge crowd of people. Those guys were obsessed with black. She slaps me on the knee lightly. Come on, I'm trying to be serious. What? Even her retort is normal. The person sitting in front of me isn't a cat-eared maid, and she isn't the Rhinet champion. She's just a normal girl. Does it still hurt? No, I'm fine. Lies. Kioma, Okabe-san. I don't know what would have happened if you hadn't been there. I shivered just thinking about it. Don't correct yourself like that. Just call me what you usually do. Ferris sighs. Anyway, Kioma, I can't say thank you enough. Thank you, honestly. You know, Kioma, you're my prince. Oh, God. Prince? What's with the fairy tale talk? She's giving me goosebumps. This calls for Hoin Kioma. I'm not a prince. I'm an insane man scientist and... Okay. Before I finish, Ferris throws herself on top of me. She wraps her arms around me tightly. Ferris? I want you to call me Rumiho. No, Ferris is Ferris, remember? This is bad. What should I do? What does Ferris want? Hey, I think it's time to end this. You went back in time and risked your life to save me. So, I want to grant your wish too. But I swallow the rest of my words. Granting my wish would mean erasing her father's existence. My heart aches. It was like this with Suzuha too. I erased everything that Suzuha had shared with us in 2010, including her memories of meeting her father. I did it for the sake of my personal goal, to save my Yuri. Must I once again sacrifice someone else's dream? It was on my 8th birthday. Still clinging to me, Ferris looks down and begins her story. I wanted Papa to take a break from work so he could spend time with me. Papa's company wasn't as big back then, so he worked every day, from morning to night. I never got to see him. The present I wanted most was for him to spend one whole day with me. And Papa promised. He promised he'd spend the entire day with me, no matter what. but something came up and he had to break his promise the day before. I was so afraid that Papa didn't really love me. So on my birthday, I ran away from home. I wanted to make Papa worry. Ferris pauses here for a minute. Then she looks up at me and continues with tears in her eyes. The plane Papa was on made a bad landing. Only one person died in that accident. Everyone else was unharmed. Don't tell me. The one casualty was Papa. That was before the world line changed. I couldn't believe the world would be so cruel to me. I hate you, Papa. You should just die. Those were the last words I ever said to him. And that's how our relationship ended. Forever. Oh, Ferris, girl, you gonna make me fucking cry over here. I can hear the tears in her voice. I loved him. So why? Why did I say those things to him? I always felt guilty because of what I said. I always wished I could go back in time, change what happened. Then, did fate guide us to each other? When I heard you talking about your time machine, I thought I was being given a chance. Ferris, Rumiho, that's enough for today. You don't have to say anything more. No, let me finish. Ferris doesn't let go of me. She sniffles and wipes away her tears, putting on a smile. I'm okay now. Papa came to save me, so I know how much he really loves me. I really enjoyed having this time to spend with him. It was like a gift from heaven. It was like a gift to us from heaven. But now you need to change things back to the way they were. But Mayushi's a very important friend to me. If Mayushi's in danger, I'll do anything to save her. I'm sorry. Weren't you listening? This current reality isn't reality at all, but rather a gift to my father and me. Or maybe I should call it a dream. Papa doesn't belong in this time. You're just turning things back to normal. Thank you for letting me have this dream, Kiyoma. Are you really okay with that? Ferris buries her face into my chest. Actually, I'm not okay at all. I remember how things were before the world changed. But I also remember how everything was after the world changed, you know? I'm actually kind of freaking out right now. What happened before the change and after the change are all mixed up inside me. I don't know which is real anymore. But if I try to fight it, it'll just make you sad, won't it? I don't want to make you sad. You are my prince after all. We can do something. There might be a world where you don't lose your dad and Mayuri doesn't die. If we try, it's okay. I've accepted it. I don't want to run away anymore. And there's nothing I can say to that. So instead, I tightly embraced her slender body. Thank you. Hey, is it okay if I cry a little before we change things back? Is it okay if I cry for Papa? She's already crying, but I don't say anything. Instead, I silently nod. Ferris's body trembles with emotion as I hold her. Her father is sleeping in the room next door, so she probably doesn't want him to hear. She cries into my chest, muffling her sobs. It's almost noon. I feel dizzy. It's like my brain is rusty. My whole body is heavy with fatigue. The pain from my wounds has subsided, thankfully, but in the end, I couldn't sleep a wink. I promised Ferris we'd commence the operation at noon. Until then, we wait at Ferris's apartment. I've already contacted Daru and the others back at the lab. I told them we'd be performing an experiment today. Kiyoma. Ferris? I can see the traces of tears on her face. The sight makes my heart ache. I'll go say my last goodbyes to Papa now, Nyan. Oh? Her usual speaking habits have returned the second she donned her cat ears. What a nifty piece of equipment. Let me be alone with Papa for a while, Nya. Maybe I should say wait. Maybe I should say sorry. But I say nothing to Ferris's back as she heads to her father's study. By the time Ferris finishes her farewells with her father and comes out of the study, the phone wave name subjects to change settings are already complete. I contact Dario at the lab and make sure the Bronte Workshop's 42-inch CRT is turned on. Now all we have to do is send the email. But I hesitate. Instead of meeting Ferris's eyes, I look down at my feet. Eternal separation from her father. I wonder what Ferris is thinking now. Don't be like that, Kyoma. You've done nothing wrong, Nyan. But... Nyan, no more talking, Nyan. Okay. I can't stay sad when Ferris is trying to cheer me up. I steel myself for what I need to do. Yesterday, just before she left the room, Ferris told me the contents of the first email she sent. 100 mil for your kid. Take the train. Oh, see, in the anime, it never tells you. It never tells you. That mail stopped her father from getting on the airplane. As a result, he didn't die. But that wasn't the only effect it had on the timeline. Her father needed to sell the IBM 5100 to prepare the 100 million yen ransom. As a result, Ferris never donated the IBM 5100 to Yanabayashi Shrine. With her father alive, Ferris didn't participate in Akihabara's city development conferences. Otaku-oriented businesses never took root in Akiba. Main Queen never opened. Ferris wasn't as busy, which allowed her to join the Rainant tournament circuit. In other words, this world's Ferris has a normal life. On the world line I came from, Ferris was not only a student, but also an heir to her father's company, an influential member of the Akihabara Development Board, and a part-time maid waitress. Which life is better for her? Which will give her greater happiness? That's not my decision. It's hers. And her decision is to return to the way things were. I'm just here to help her wake up from this dream. Ferris has already entered the cancellation email. JK on ransom. I love you, Papa. See you soon. These are Ferris's true last words to her father. When we change things back, will my memories of this world disappear, Nya? Of course not. You'll remember. You have memories from both worlds right now, don't you? Is that why you were so desperate to help Ferris, Nya? That's open to your interpretation. I feel my cheeks get warm, so I hang my head to hide my face. Ferris doesn't want to forget her time with Kyoma, Nya. Thank you. I take Ferris's phone. I'm sorry Ferris lied to you. Woo! Chapter 8. A quick save, but we're gonna fucking save again. My head spins. I feel faint. Slowly, the world reasserts itself. I have teleported to the lab development room. Ferris is standing next to me. Reading center is telling me the world line has changed. Additionally, the injuries the viral attackers inflicted on my body have vanished. So has the pain. Ferris is standing in the center of the room, looking around. The tears that were in her eyes just a moment ago are gone. Kyoma, do you know where Ferris's phone went, yeah? Just a moment ago, Ferris was fighting to hold back her tears, but that Ferris is no more. In her place is the usual cute, cheerful Ferris, with an impish smile on her face. I look at the phone in my hand. It's not my phone, but one with several cute girly cat doll phone straps attached. Here's your phone. Yeah? Ferris walks up to me with a teasing smile on her face. She pokes at my fingers with her index finger. Kyoma, did you see what was inside, yeah? Like he's gonna tell you? Ferris gently takes her phone from my hand. If you did see it, then please forget about it, yeah. Can't let that cat out of the bag, yeah. Or else they will awaken, yeah. What? Come on, Kyoma, you're supposed to say something like, who the hell are they? Or something, yeah. I'm sorry. Before we sent the email, Ferris said she didn't want to forget. And I lied that she would surely remember. Kilma's acting weird now. You usually act all pompous and... Yeah? I embraced Ferris suddenly, pulling her to me as tightly as I can. I'm sorry. Ferris remembers nothing. Nothing about her victory at the Rhinonet tournament. Nothing about our escape from the viral attackers. Nothing about her father riding up in his limousine to save her. Nothing about how we talked alone in her bedroom. Nothing. She remembers nothing. Everything that happened on that world line was undone. What happens to that world line? I don't know. Maybe, like Suzuha said, it still exists as another possible world line. Or maybe it ceased to exist the moment I sent that email. You'd have to be a god to observe each and every world line, so it's pointless to worry about it. But one thing is clear. I can never return to that world line again. Ferris can never see her father again. Kilma? This is really bold of you. Yeah. Mayushi's in the next room. She'll find out, you know? Yeah. I'm sorry. The only thing I can do is apologize. On this world line, Mayuri invited Ferris to come hang out at the lab. Apparently, she came to see a costume Mayuri had made. Ferris has work after this, so she soon leaves the lab. After seeing Ferris off, I head toward Yanabayashi Shrine. Mayuri. Oh god. They had a fight. Coyote-chan had a fight with her boyfriend. How do I make them make up? Mayushi's never had a fight with anyone. I think it's mysterious. I couldn't fight with the person I like. I'm gonna say that's because you're a gentle girl, Mayuri. Because she is. Yanabayashi Shrine. On the way, I stop at Chuodori and take a look around. They're back. The Moe stores exist again. Animate, Tora, Noana, Mandarake, Gamers, Lamentera, Melon Books, Azobit City. They've all returned to the streets of Akiba. There's a gigantic anime-themed banner hanging from the soft map building. Maids walk the street, handing out leaflets. Cosplaying girls advertise in storefronts. But the return of this familiar scenery brings no relief to my heart. There is only pain, for everything I see confirms that Ferris has lost her father. But I can't stop here. I shake my head and hurry to the shrine. On the way, I notice the satellite is missing from Rarigan's rooftop. Of course it is. Suzuha is gone. The thought brings a new pang of grief to my heart. Before this is over, how much pain will I shoulder? Unfortunately, a lot. I pass beneath the archway and enter the silent courtyard. I walk up to the main building and jab the intercom. After a few presses, I get a reply. Yes, who is... Ah, Okabe-san. Rukako comes out. Girly as always, even though he's a guy. No, wait. This Rukako is a genuine girl. Rukako, someone should have donated an old computer to the shrine several years ago. Can you ask your dad about it for me? An old computer? I think Ruka went pale when I mentioned the computer. She lowers her face immediately, so I can't be certain. I'll go call my dad. Ruka hurries inside. It looks like she knows something. Rukako's dad soon appears. Well, if it isn't Hoin-kun, thank you for taking care of my daughter. I rush the greeting and get down to business. If I'm not mistaken, there was an old computer donated to this shrine about 10 years ago. Do you know about it? An old computer? Why, yes, I do remember that. Really? Yes, finally, I've returned to the world line with the IBN 5100. Please, I need to see it. Sure, please wait here. Ruka's dad heads inside the sanctuary in the back. Rukako has been silent this whole time. She keeps touching her hair and looking around nervously. Something is definitely wrong with her. Are you afraid of me, Rukako? Eh? I understand. I mean, I touched your naughty bits, I guess? Okabe! Oh my god, this guy. Crap, I just made things more awkward. I didn't have to say it like that. I'm not afraid of you, Okabe-san. That was really embarrassing, though. Sorry. Okay. By the way, do you know about the IBN 5100? No? Ruka shakes her head in an unnatural way. I've never heard of it. But when I called you before, it sounded like you knew about it. No, Ruka is looking more and more uncomfortable. Maybe I'm pushing her too hard. I should back off. I did a terrible thing to this girl. So it might be best if I stop treating her as my disciple. I need to treat her like a lady from now on. If I don't, I could get sued for sexual harassment or charged with attempted rape or indecency or something. But how exactly do I treat her like a lady anyway? I just treat everyone the same, pretty much. So, you're not gonna wear the costume Mary made? Oh, no. Because it's embarrassing? Yes. Why is this girl so lacking in confidence? I guess she can't help it if it's in her nature. But she didn't say her reason for becoming a girl was to gain But didn't she say her reason for becoming a girl was to gain confidence in the first place? And yet she's a girl now, but still seems the same inside. That's strange. Ruka's dad returns. His timing is good. My conversation with Ruka wasn't going anywhere. Did you find it? I try asking just in case, but he looks confused. Obviously something unexpected has happened. Well, I couldn't find it. You couldn't find it? I remember receiving an old computer, but it's not in the storehouse anymore. The IBN 5100 isn't here? I press my hands to my temples and stifle a groan. The world line is still twisted. The IBN 5100 like a mirage floating in front of me. I can see it, but never reach it. Pardon my asking, but was the PC donated by But the PC was donated by Akiha Rumiho-san, correct? Huh? How did you know? Do you know her by chance? Or friends? Rumiho-chan has grown up to be a splendid young lady, hasn't she? It was when she was still in elementary school. She came to visit with her butler, Kuroki-san. But why did that computer disappear? I thought someone might have stolen it, but everything else is untouched. And the lock wasn't broken. This contradicts Rukako's statement. Ruka said she didn't know about the IBN 5100. Ruka, do you know anything about it? You've been cleaning the sanctuary the past few years, haven't you? Once again, Ruka hangs her head, almost shaking with fear. Her hands are trembling. Ruka, what's wrong? I try asking again, but she doesn't raise her head. I don't know anything. The look on her face betrays her. Ruka is lying. But why? Remember, she shouldn't even know about the IBN 5100. Why does she know? Because the world line changed. There's no other answer. Her D-mail must be the cause. In Ferris's case, I didn't know what her D-mail was about. But in Rukako's case, I already know what it is. I want to be a girl. The D-mail must have had an influence beyond Rukako's sex, the butterfly effect. It somehow changed the location of the IBN 5100. It was like that with Suzuha and with Ferris. I can't help but think that the universe itself is keeping the IBN 5100 away from me. At any rate, when Ruka sent her D-mail, reading Steiner activated, meaning the D-mail changed the world line. If the IBN 5100 won't return to me on this world line, then my next step is to cancel Rukako's D-mail. In other words, I need to turn Rukako back into a guy. Suddenly I feel dizzy. It's not heat stroke, and it's not reading Steiner. How am I going to explain this to Rukako herself? Just the other day, when I called Rukako a guy, she cried. Then Kirisu and Mayuri ganged up on me. Can I get Rukako to go back to being a guy without starting up trouble? This is going to be tough. Maybe I should consult someone about this. At first, I considered consulting Kirisu, but I don't think I should talk to a girl this time. Let's think a little. What? Mr. Braun? Can't say I expected that one. I visit Tanuji's house. The divergence meter is here. I need to know what it says. Canceling Ferris's email appears to have raised the value by about 0.5%. Little by little, I'm approaching the goal of 1% divergence. The number gives me courage. Okay, so remember, 0.456914. He'll probably say if it's changed, but hey. Afterwards, Tanuji recounts his memories of Hashida Suzu just as he did on a previous world line. I stay until he's finished. It's past 6 p.m. when I get back to the lab. Doo-doo-doo. Welcome back, Karine. Mayuri, I love you. There are 2 girls in the lab, Mayuri and Kirisu. Who is this Karine? Well, welcome back flows so well into Ocarine, doesn't it? When you put them together, it's doubly delicious. It's not delicious. It's a greeting I can only use for Ocarine, so why not? Hehe. Where's Daru? Probably at Makeling? Makeling. So that's back too. So when Ferris said she had work, she meant at Makeling. What about you, Mayuri? You work there too, don't you? Of course I do. You know that, Ocarine. You're so weird. Mayushi's taking a break to prepare for Kamima tomorrow. The timeline has been corrected, it seems. At least in part. I should stop by Makeling when I have time. I'll visit sometime when Mayuri and Ferris are working. I didn't realize it until it was gone, but I think I really like that maid cafe. Kirisu is reading a Western book. It's the same book as always. It's pretty hefty, so it must take a long time to read. I walk past her and enter the development room. There sits the time leap machine. Today is Saturday, the 14th of August. The first time Mayuri died, it happened on Friday the 13th. After Suzuha's sacrifice changed the world line, Mayuri died on the 14th instead. Her death was delayed by 24 hours exactly. If that pattern continues, her death on this world line should occur tomorrow, the 15th. Just to be safe, I should buy a few days with the time leap machine. I'll need time to solve the Ruka problem. I should time leap right away. Just before entering the lab, I peeked into the Braun Tube workshop. The 42-inch CRT was on, so there's no problem there. Still. Assistant is here, John Titor and Part-Time Warrior aren't gonna work. Okay, who all can I call? Literally only the phone wave. Okay. Okabe, what are you doing? I thought we weren't going to... By the time Kirisu started talking, the discharge phenomenon has already started. An unpleasant sound pierces my ears. My vision ripples, my flesh and soul momentarily feel separate. I grab my right wrist, I close my eyes, take deep breaths, and wait for my pulse to return to normal. I don't know if I was supposed to do that. But, I did. I took 2 time leaps, traveling a total of 57 hours into the past. Phew. The worst is over. All that's left is a headache. I need to cancel Rukako's D-mail on this world line. I sit down in a pipe chair and try and come up with a plan. I'm searching for a way to tell Rukako the truth, that every mental simulation I run ends with her in tears. I suppose that's to be expected. After all, I've already seen it happen once. I mistook Rukako for a guy, and she ended up in tears. I mean, Rukako cries at just about anything. To broach the topic now would be like poking an open wound. Why don't you just cancel it? You know what it said. Like, he was there when he sent it, so why do you not just... Damn, it looks like I have no choice but to ask Kurisu. She's a girl, so she should understand how Rukako feels. Why don't you just cancel it? Like, I'm so confused. I call Kurisu out to the bench in front of the Braun Tube workshop. We're alone. This seems serious. Yes, I have a difficult problem that requires delicacy to resolve. Delicacy? Like the exact opposite of what anyone expects from you. That's why I want to ask a girl. Plus, you're my assistant, so I need you to save my ass this instant. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, you. Why do you need to ask a girl anyway? I give her the rundown, including how many times I've time looped and what happened with Suzuha and Ferris. How many times have I explained this to her now? This time she believes me more readily than I expected. The only thing she doesn't believe is the story about Ruka. Irushibara-san is actually a guy? That's totally ridiculous. But it's the truth. Was the truth. So basically, she wrinkles her brow in thought. She looked like Hashida? Crap, I got a mental image for there for a second. Judging by her expression, so did Kurisu. Ugh. We grimace. Unacceptable. There's no way such a cute girl was a guy. Hey, hold your horses. I never said the Ruka looked like a guy. He actually looked pretty much the same. He was always androgynous. So much you couldn't help but think he was secreting excess female hormones or something. As a result, I didn't even notice when Ruka became a girl at first and made a fatal mistake. He looked like she does now. Kurisu's gaze wanders for a bit. Acceptable. What? Anyway, you want to turn her back into a guy? Unless we do, Mayuri dies. Mary's life is tied to Irushibara-san's gender? That's so crazy it doesn't seem real at all. Have you come up with a solution? Of course, I'll have Ruka turn back into a guy. I don't know if she's going to appreciate that. That's why I'm consulting you, so I can find a way to do this while hurting her the least. I take a mouthful of Dr. P in a vain attempt to quiet my frustration. If only I hadn't been so careless. I shouldn't have let so many people send emails. This is my punishment. I must shoulder the pain of everyone who used a D-mail. Suzuha, Ferris, now Ruka. Regret won't change anything. There's only one piece of advice I can give. Christina sighs, blowing her bangs. Don't say anything to Irushibara-san. What do you mean? Based on what you've told me, you have the advantage this time. You already know the contents of the email. You don't have to tell her, him, him? You don't have to tell Irushibara-san. Just send the cancellation email. You mean pose as Ruka and send the mail to her mother myself? If the world line changes, then that will all be done. In which case, ethical concerns don't really matter. The end justifies the means, a philosophy worthy of a science. Just one problem. I don't know her mother's pager number. What? Are you an idiot? Why didn't you write it down? I didn't think I would need it. Kurisu clicks her tongue. She rubs her brow with her fingers while muttering and thinking. What if you just ask for the pager number directly? Think up a good excuse. That's going to look suspicious. What are you so scared of? That's not the vain and arrogant Okabe I know. Vain and arrogant? That was uncalled for. I don't have time to be hoeing Kiyoma now. Just make up some nonsense like you always do. I mean, you know how gullible she is, right? Wow, I hate myself for saying that. I'm a bad girl. Kurisu hangs her head. Maybe I should just tell her the truth. Sincerity will work better than underhanded tricks. I think. A mad scientist sincere? That's a good one. It's more like you to say I'll brainwash her. Mwah! I'm being serious, damn it. I will shoulder Rukako's pain. That's my responsibility. When I cancel that email, the fact she was a girl will be undone. I'm the only one who can carry that burden. So what are you talking to me for? Go to her now and tell her what you told me. Yeah, you're right. That's my only choice. As always, there are only a few worshippers at the shrine. I guess that's how it can keep its dignified silence, even though it's less than a 10-minute walk from Akihabara Station. Oh, Okabe-san. Ruka is sweeping the courtyard. I'm sorry, I left Samidare in my room. No, that's okay. Oh, really? Well, crap. Now that we're face to face, I can't bring myself to tell her the truth. Is something wrong? Well, I recall Rukako's crying face. She looked very sad when I called her a guy. If possible, I don't want to make her cry again. No, why am I acting so weak? I can't stop here. I swore I would do anything to save Mayuri. And when Rukako said he wanted to be a girl, he probably only said it out of curiosity. If I explain everything properly, I doubt she'll refuse to become a guy again. Rukako. Yes? I grab her by the shoulders and pull her close. Rukako's cheeks instantly burn bright red. Please listen carefully. The truth is, you used to be a guy. Wow. That was explained properly, Okabe? No reaction. Yeah. Or so I thought. The tears start welling up in Rukako's eyes. You're saying that again? Damn, I made her cry again. But this time I don't back down. Listen, unless you turn back into a guy, Mayuri will die. I explain everything. About time travel, about the D-mail Rukako sent, about Mayuri's fate, about how to avoid it. I talk and talk without pausing for breath. Finally, I'm done. You're choking, right? Her voice is trembling. I can't believe any of it. This is more role-playing, right? You're being Kiyoma-san, right? Right? She backs away from me, shaking her head. I don't like that backstory. It hurts. And I think it would hurt Mayuri-chan, too. I know you're confused hearing this so suddenly, but it's all true. I've witnessed her death countless times. I'm sorry. I know I'm being selfish, but I'm begging you. To save Mayuri, I need you to become a guy again. Please tell me you're joking, Okabe-san. I can't possibly be a guy. I don't want to be. I've always been a girl, ever since I was born. This is cruel. And why do I have to hear it from you, of all people? Oh, yes. I'm so embarrassed. This isn't right. Rukako covers her face with both hands to snuff out her sobs. What's to be embarrassed about? I have a harder time thinking of you as a girl anyway. Rukako jerks like someone poked her with a cattle prod. Her crying is stopped. What did I do? That's how you of me. What? I couldn't hear you. She lowers her hands and looks at me. Then she smiles, a soft, sorrowful smile. So that's how you think of me. Then Rukako shakes off my hands and runs away. Rukako, wait! She doesn't stop even when I call her. She disappears into the shrine office. It turned out just as my mental simulations predicted. I sigh and leave the shrine dejected. I need to come up with a plan. When I get back to the lab, I take Karasu out to the bench and explain what happened. Karasu listens with an annoyed expression the whole time. When I finish, she glares at me and says, "You raised a flag." What are you talking about? Don't you get it? You raised a flag. Or I guess you could say you tripped over a flag that was already raised. You mean a death flag? Why? It's a romance flag, genius. What? A romance flag? Urushibara-san likes you. Karasu thrusts her finger at me. When her beloved Hoin Kiyoma told her that she was a guy, it tore her pure maidenly heart into tiny little pieces. In other words, your plan was a massive failure. She sure is calm when it's my neck on the line. Love is trouble. There's no formula for calculating people's feelings. Too many unknowns to solve for. She shakes her head like she can't imagine anything worse. Has this girl never been in love? The direct approach was a mistake. It'll be even harder to persuade her now. You should think of another way this time, like asking her mother directly. Though I'm sure the Urushibara family already thinks of you as the man who made their daughter cry, so they might have their guard up. Rukako likes me? I don't want to believe it. I mean, I appreciate the sentiment, but... when do you think of her set off that romance flag? How should I know? I mean, think about it. Rukako was a guy last week. If he already liked me at that point, then... Uh-oh. That's just your perspective. From everyone else's perspective, she always was a girl. It makes perfect sense. Think in terms of the current world line. Right. It makes perfect sense. Still. Anyway, there's a bigger problem. Will changing Orochimaru-san's gender to male really bring the IBN 5100 back? Something is different from the previous world line. According to Rukako's father, the IBN 5100 was definitely at Yanabayashi Shrine. Suzuha gave it to Ferris' dad. After he died, Ferris donated it to the Yanabayashi Shrine. That sequence is the same on the world line where I obtained the IBN 5100. So you're gradually approaching the original world line. You know, I've been thinking, you really shouldn't be able to change the world line so easily. What makes you say that? I mean, there are 6 billion people in the world. It doesn't make sense that switching a single person's gender could cause such a huge change in the world line. According to Suzuha, taking different actions after a time leap will only change divergence by around 0.0000001%, if at all. But when I cancelled Ferris's email, there was a 0.5% change. 0.5 is pretty big. What did Imane-san have to say about that? The year 2010 is a major attractor field junction, and the key is whether or not I obtain an IBN 5100. Maybe the divergence meter actually measures your distance to the IBN 5100. In any case, what you're saying is, of all the emails we sent, had an influence on the IBN 5100 location somehow? There were also some emails that didn't activate reading Steiner. So just cancel the emails that activated reading Steiner, and the IBN 5100 might come back to you. The remaining emails were sent by Ruka and Kiryu Moeka. I don't want to see that woman again if I can help it. In any case, I should focus on Ruka right now. So what should I do about Ruka? Just go out with her. Seriously? If there's nobody you like, then there's no reason not to, is there? Get close and help her work through her feelings. Then she'll probably tell you what you need to know. Mary dies in 2 days. I don't have time for that touchy-feely stuff. Suddenly, Kurisu's expression turns grave. Only consider this as a last resort. If you're willing to hurt Orochimaru-san, you can always take the information by force. What? She'll forget after the world line changes, won't she? In that case, I think it's a valid option. What? But only when compared to Mayuri's death. I hate myself for suggesting this. No, you're right. I need to consider every possible option. That's not a possible option. What the fuck? But I don't want to do that if there's any other choice. I'm not saying this for myself. From my perspective, when the world line changes, everything until that point becomes undone. But what about from Rukako's perspective? What if this world line continues after I leave it behind? The Rukako of this world line will have to live with what I did to her. That possibility exists. Suzuha has said that's not the case, but there's no way to be sure. And since I can't confirm or deny that possibility, I don't want to use Kirisu's last resort. Besides, I have the time leap machine. And as long as I have it, I can repeat the days before Mayuri's death forever. Of course, there's still the danger of a time leap failure. In any case, the first thing I should do is have an honest talk with the girl in question. I hear the tweeting of small birds outside the window. It's nice and cool early in the morning, even though it's the middle of summer. Too bad the cicadas are already chirping. The sunlight's not too strong yet. I couldn't get a wink of sleep. I was up all night thinking about Ruka. Ocarine? Ah, there you are. Mary enters the room and looks at me with a disapproving pout. She didn't say toot-a-roo. It's rare to see her in such a bad mood. You're early. It's still 8. Something happening today? I'm here to scold you, Ocarine. She gives me a glare that's more cute than frightening. She's never been very good at getting angry. Oh my god, this girl is me. Maybe she's very disappointed in you. Mary puffs out her cheeks and thrusts the finger at me. What did I do? You can't fool me, Ocarine. You made Ruka-chan cry, didn't you? How did you... Ruka-chan told me. She said you said she was a guy. Damn. Those two are close friends. I should have known Ruka would go to Mayuri first. Why would you say such a mean thing, Ocarine? Mayuri, it doesn't involve you. This is a serious confidential matter involving the organization. It does too involve me. Ruka-chan is Mayushi's friend. If you don't tell me, we're not friends anymore, okay? I'm gonna quit being a lab mem. This is the first time I've ever seen Mayuri so angry. I'm not sure how to deal with this, honestly. Why did you say such a mean thing? I did it to save you. But I can't say that. I don't have it in me to tell this innocent girl that she's fated to die in just 2 days. Come to think of it, was it a mistake to tell Ruka about Mayuri's murder? I did make sure to tell Ruka not to breathe a word of it. You're worried about something, aren't you? She's sharp, even though she never seems to be thinking anything. I can tell. I've been watching you longer than anyone, Ocarine. And yesterday, you talked with Christian for a long time, didn't you? If something's wrong, you should talk to Mayushi too, okay? I want to help too, okay? Now let's go apologize to Ruka-chan. Will you do that for me? Mayushi will come too, so let's... Ocarine? Come now, Mayuri. Me? Worry? Don't be ridiculous. I'm the insane mad scientist, Hoin Hyoma. I have nothing to worry about. All I have is the hunger for chaos. Ocarine. I can't tell Mayuri. I can't. Even if Mayuri hates me for it. Jesus Christ. Oh, Jesus Christ. Ruka, Okabe-san, I have something important to talk to you about. Please come to the shrine when you can. I'll be waiting, please. I told her everything yesterday, including about Mayuri's death. Perhaps after sleeping on it, she finally decided to believe my story. Alright. I get up from the sofa. Where are you going? Mayushi's not done talking. I'm going to Rukako's. Really? You're going to apologize? Then let Mayushi come too. No, that will just make it harder. Put my hand on Mayuri's shoulder. Please take care of the lab while I'm gone. Mayuri's shoulders droop. She looks sad for some reason, but she lets me go. When I reach the shrine, I find Ruka standing alone in the courtyard. She's dressed in regular clothes instead of her Miko garb. She still hasn't noticed me. Ruka stands in the silent courtyard. The only movement comes from the trees swaying in the summer breeze. It's like a scene from a movie. I stop and watch in fascination. Finally, Ruka turns around. Our eyes meet. Ahem. I awkwardly clear my throat and walk towards him. Her. Ruka bows her head. You came. Thank you. We stare at each other in silence. Crap. This is awkward. I can't stand the silence, so I try to start the conversation. What did you tell Mayuri? Sorry, but Mayuri is the only one I could talk to about this. I mean, how much did you tell her? I kept most of it a secret, especially the stuff about her dying. That's a relief. Do you still think I'm joking? Ruka shakes her head. She believes me? You said you had something important to talk about, Nia? What? Why did he, Nia? I'm trying to be gentle, but for some reason I wind up talking like Ferris. Oh my god. I really don't know how to deal with Ruka now that she's a girl. Ruka takes a breath as if to prepare herself. Her face is turning red for some reason. She opens her mouth to speak, then closes it again. This continues for several cycles. What's wrong with her? The tension is getting to me. My heart starts pounding like an alarm bell. Yes? Want to ask? Yes? Okabe-san, about what you said yesterday. Yeah? I believe you. That's great. So she's willing to go back to being a guy even though I hurt her feelings. For me to believe in spite... Sorry, for her to believe me in spite of that makes me pretty happy. But something's strange about Ruka. She still looks wound up pretty tight. In fact, it's gotten worse. Now she looks on the verge of tears. So, well, in exchange for becoming a guy again, In exchange, she wants something in return? I wasn't expecting this. For today and tomorrow, we can stop before Mayuri-chan is in danger. What is she talking about? My throat goes dry. I'm so tense and I don't know why. So, please be my... I couldn't hear you. One more time? Ruka's voice was even softer than ever. So soft that I couldn't hear her from here. Please be my... And... No good, I still can't hear her. Speak up, I'll do anything I can. Boy and... What? Please be my boyfriend? Okabe's like, what? What? Boyfriend. It takes me a while to process the word. Meanwhile, Ruka starts squirming and fidgeting. She refuses to look me in the eye. My heart is pounding. What's going on? What did she say to me? Boyfriend. 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 She wants me to be her boyfriend until tomorrow? What? Why? Without thinking, I ask the worst possible question. Ruka curls up even smaller. I like you. Her voice is as small as the buzzing of a mosquito, but it has all the courage she can muster. I feel my heart tighten at those words. Silence. More silence. Oh, wait just a second. This is too sudden. I mean, maybe it's not sudden exactly. I've known about Rukago's feelings since yesterday when Kurisu told me about the romance flag. But still, I didn't think it would come to this. My mind goes blank. I can't think straight. Rukago hangs her head, waiting for my answer. She looks so cute and innocent. I feel myself drawn to... No. No, no, no. That's wrong. That's just wrong. I'm not attracted to Rukago. Let me think about it. Give me 5 minutes. I turn around and flee like a scared rabbit. Flee. I'm so embarrassed I can't look back. 10 minutes later, I get back to the lab. Mayuri's eating a red bean bun. Ocarine, how'd it go? Did you apologize to Ruka-chan? Yeah. So, put the juicy chicken #1 in the microwave and Nuka said the D-mail is basically ABC and... What? The microwave was developed by Knights of the Rosicrucian Order who used alchemy, meaning that the sound of the chime is the brainwashing device, while the chime itself actually doesn't have a meaning at all. Wow, Ocarine's broken. I mutter incoherently as I set up the time leap machine. What are you doing? Making a tactical retreat. Retreat? How far do I go? As far as I can. Yeah, that's it. Far, far away from here. I jump all the way back to August 11th, the limit of the time leap machine's range. When I'm done, Kurisu is standing before me, fiddling with the phone wave's wiring. Stop staring, you're distracting me. How many times do I have to tell you? She's still working on the time leap machine upgrade. I know I shouldn't interrupt her, but there's nobody else I can rely on. Genius neuroscientist, I need to talk to you. Make it short. I want you to come with me to Yanabayashi Shrine. Tell me why. If it's date or something, then I refuse. Hoin Kyoma does not go on dates, much less with his assistant. Ridiculous. She's glaring like she's gonna kill me. Let's leave the jokes aside for now. So, I need you to explain the difference between the male brain and the female brain. What? I briefly explained my situation and what happened with Ruka before I leaped. How many times have I explained this to Kurisu now? Okabe-san and Makisa-san, did you come to pray? Makise-san, sorry. Not exactly. Actually, we have something to talk to you about, Urushibara-san. This is the strategy I thought up. Its name is Operation Christina. Ruka reacts differently to me. I already know she'll have a breakdown if I tell her she's a guy. But she's not too familiar with Kurisu, and they're both girls, so it should be easier if Kurisu tells her. That's why I persuaded Kurisu to handle it. So I wait behind Kurisu and watch silently. What might that be? Ruka is shy. He was distant with me back when we first met. I can see she's made a small wall between herself and Kurisu now too. On the other hand, Kurisu is very calm, truly reliable. Kurisu puts on a gentle smile and begins her explanation. Did you know male and female brains are very different? What? Hey. Male brains are right dominant, female brains are left dominant. Yeah? By the way, the right brain handles image processing, spatial processing, and comprehensive judgment. The left brain handles things like language and calculation. The right and left brains are connected by the corpus callosum, which is more developed in females. You know how people say girls are better at multitasking? That can be explained by the development of the corpus callosum. What? What the hell is she talking about? Actually, these theories are kind of fringe. They're not really that credible. So if you don't mind, I'd like to do an experiment. An experiment? I want to try mapping your brain patterns to see if they're more female or male. What is mapping? Rukako's clearly frightened. Brainwave mapping. You just take a sample of your brainwaves. Anyways, you'll understand if you try it, okay? Okay? It won't hurt a bit. No thanks. It'll be okay, I promise. It won't hurt a bit. Just come to the lab and we'll... What kind of perverted old man are you? I lightly chopped Kurisu on the head. What? Don't you what me? What did we come here for? What are you going to do if you scare Ruka away? I'm just treating her like a valuable test sub. Go back to the lab, you experiment-loving girl. Yeah, okay, so that's the thanks I get for going out of my way to help you. I'm gone. You're on your own now. Kurisu leaves the shrine with square shoulders, muttering darkly to herself. What was Makise-san talking about? Well, basically... Do I have to explain it myself after all? You're actually a guy. The result is the same, of course. Okabe. I hear the tweeting of small birds outside the window. It's morning now. It's nice and cool early in the morning, even though it's the middle of summer. Cicadas. Sun not too strong. Second time I've woken up like this, though the date was different the first time. In any case, my mental state is exactly the same as back then. Through the front door, I hear someone stomping up the stairs. I jump up thinking it's Moeka, but then I realize who it is. Ocarine? There you are. Mary enters and greets me with a disapproving pout. Originally, Mary was supposed to stay over at the lab, but last night she got a call from someone and left in a hurry. She probably went to see Ruka. Mayushi's very disappointed in you. Mary puffs out her cheeks and thrusts the finger at me. Of course. I sigh in frustration. Before I time leaped, this happened on the 14th. Today's the 12th. Since I explained the situation to Ruka early, it looks like Mary's protest came early too. You made Ruka-chan cry, didn't you? Ruka-chan told me. She said you said she was a guy. Why would you say such a mean thing? I'm going to see her now, so don't worry. Really? Thank goodness. If you weren't going to apologize, then Mayushi was never going to talk to you again. That mail should come any minute now. Yep, it actually came. If I go to Yanabarashi Shrine now, Ruka will confess her love and ask me to be her boyfriend. Please be my boyfriend. But this time I thought ahead. Christina! Christina! I start yelling at the development room and begin to hear the sounds of someone moving inside. Is Christine sleeping? She worked all night, so you shouldn't wake her up. I know, but I have to do this. Christina, please wake up. Oh, shut up. Kurisu comes out of the development room with sleepy eyes. Christian, doo-doo-doo. She's like, fuck you. Last night she fell asleep at the desk. The sleeves of her clothes left a mark on her cheek. Her hair's frayed, her eyes are red. She rubs those red eyes. What is it? Okay, I am going to stop it here. My voice is starting to give out. So that's gonna have to be it for today. But thank you guys so much for watching, and hopefully you are really liking this series. I am loving playing this game for you guys, and yeah, it's very, very interesting, and I like to see the differences between the anime and the visual novel, because obviously the visual novel goes a little bit more in depth with things like the Ferris incident. Like, we saw that in the anime, it was just like basically really cut out. But yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Make sure you stay tuned. I'm going to try my best to edit these as quickly as I can and get them up for you, as well as starting back up my podcast and having that being recorded on Sundays and uploaded on Mondays if possible. So I love you guys lots. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys soon.